The blue status windows hung in the air, a brutal final verdict.
2 levels subtracted. Current level -1. Quest failed. You can no longer enter the Patreon region. Patreon soldiers will kill you on sight.
Earl Ashore stood over the fading, disappearing body of Grid, his face a mask of cold displeasure.
You'd really kill me for using an item? You greedy, selfish bastard. That book was rightfully mine.
A final bitter laugh.
Fine. I wish you good food and a peaceful life, you monster!
The grandeur of the dungeon and the Earl's furious face dissolved into static, then into darkness. The first thing Shin Young-woo felt was the cold, unyielding plastic of the virtual reality capsule against his back. The second was the profound silence of his small, cluttered apartment, a stark contrast to the epic failure he just endured. The capsule hissed open. He stumbled out into the trash-filled room. His face was pale with deep, dark circles under his eyes. He was breathing heavily.
That was so exciting,
he muttered, the adrenaline still coursing through him. Then the reality hit.
I could have made 100 million won.
Suddenly, his mother's silhouette darkened the doorway, her presence sucking all the air from the room.
Young-woo, do you have any idea what time it is?
As Shin Young-woo faced his mother's disapproval in his cramped apartment, the focus of the world shifted across the city, to a place where his virtual tragedy was a subject of intense fascination. High above the sleeping streets, the lights of the SA Group headquarters burned bright. Within its sleek, modern walls, the heartbeat of Satisfy thrummed with data and quiet urgency. A black car, silent and expensive, pulled up to the entrance where the head of the Satisfy task force, Shao Nahe, stood waiting, a file clutched tightly in her hands.
Welcome back, President Lim,
she said formally. The car door opened. Satisfy's lead developer, Lim Xiaoho, stepped out, his eyes alight with an excitement that defied the late hour. I never thought we'd see a class change so soon. This is fascinating. He strode inside, Nahe falling into step behind him. Do you have the field report? In the glowing operations center, staff monitored walls of shimmering data. Nahe began her briefing, her voice cool and professional.
The player Grid is Shin Young-woo, age 25. He was level 73. He is now at level -1.
A few staff members exchanged amused glances.
He received Pagma's book through a secret request from the NPC, Earl Ashore. According to our data, he's an ordinary, unemployed player.
She brought up a map on the main screen, tracing a path through a treacherous red zone.
For 3 months, he explored the Endless Lands, a zone populated by level 200 plus monsters. He died countless times.
She turned to Chalho, her expression skeptical.
Sir, while you instructed us to study the legendary classes, this seems to be pure coincidence, born from recklessness. The only notable factor is his obsessive determination.
Xiaoho leaned back, a small, knowing smile on his face.
Sir? What is it?
If you ask me, I've always thought tenacity was a good trait. Nahe adjusted her glasses, a flicker of frustration behind them.
Team leader, are you disappointed it wasn't a more prestigious player?
Xiaoho actually chuckled. According to the Morpheus supercomputer's calculations, the Northern Ant Cave and the Pagma successor class weren't supposed to be discovered for another 2 years. He stood up, pointing at the data as if connecting dots on a conspiracy board. This guy didn't just find the cave, he completed the following quest too. Do you really think that's a coincidence? He tapped another screen, bringing up another complex string of code. And then there's his negative level. The Ashore quest is designed for players level 350 or higher. Grid bypassed that. In his panic, he used the item to avoid losing it. The standard legend penalty for a class change reset him to level 1. But he just failed a quest. Xiaoho's smile widened into something triumphant. And the rule states, failing a quest drops you 2 levels. Nahe's eyes widened
in dawning realization.
But players below level 10 are usually exempt from that penalty to prevent...
Exactly. But he wasn't a level 10. He was just a level 1. So the penalty still applied, pushing him to level -1.
He made a decisive gesture.
The average player gets 10 stat points per level. To get back to level 1, he'll need to gain 2 levels. That means he'll get an additional 20 stat points more than any other player his level. This isn't an accident. This is a special situation,
Chalho declared, his voice dropping to a
serious tone. A unique skill.
Nahe looked alarmed, her professional composure cracking.
Sir, this breaks the game's balance. We need to fix this immediately.
No. There's no need. You yourself said he's an inefficient player, and let's be honest, Pakma's successor is a weak combat class compared to other legends.
Suddenly, Chalho froze, a memory flashing in his eyes, a piece of an old puzzle clicking into place.
Sir, what is it?
Nothing. I'm leaving for the day. Keep me informed.
While Lim Chalho pondered the implications of a player with negative levels, the player in question was facing a much more mundane reality. The sterile, air-conditioned world of the corporate tower was a universe away from the grimy, poorly lit streets where Shin Young-woo now found himself, having just finished a shift of menial labor. A heavy hand fell on his shoulder, jolting him from his thoughts. Young-woo, dude, Young-woo. He startled, looking up at the disgruntled faces of his temporary colleagues. Take the money for the morning shift, dude. We're all in a hurry to get home.
Young-woo stood up, confused, and muttered an apology.
He heard the man whispering, not bothering to hide their contempt. A gambling addict. Pathetic. Everyone's born with a talent, but him, an absolute loser.
A terrible worker, and so young too.
Young-woo glanced back at them, a dark look in his eyes, but said nothing. He had no defense. He ended up on a street curb, the cold concrete seeping through his thin pants. He stared at the few crumbled bills from his day's labor. Just enough for another session and satisfy, I guess. He stared into the distance, his gaze empty. The first thing I think of is this game. I should be ashamed of myself. He leaned back, his shoulders brushing against a nearby bush, the memory of his failure a fresh wound. That book, it could have changed my whole life. Hundreds of millions of won just gone. He squinted against the glare of the passing traffic. I spent so much time, so much work to get to level 73. And now I'm at -1. A sleek, expensive car glided past the curb, its windows tinted against the night. Inside, Lim Chalho was lost in his own thoughts, the city lights streaking past his window. His mind was entirely back in the office, orbiting the fascinating anomaly known as grid.
An ordinary, inefficient player. Yet, he achieved the impossible. He has no outstanding qualities whatsoever. But, perhaps in a world designed for the extraordinary, being ordinary is a weapon in itself.
The car didn't slow down, it didn't stop. In a blink of an eye, it was past, carrying Chong-ho away. He never saw the dejected young man slumped against the bushes. And on the curb, unaware that the architect of his virtual world had just passed him by, Young-woo clenched his fist so hard his knuckle turned white. Is there nothing else I can do, right? As the sound of the car's engine faded into the city's hum, a final parallel thought crossed both their minds.
It all comes down to tenacity.
One more try. A grin, sharp and resigned, spread across Young-woo's face. He crumpled the money in his hand, not in defeat, but decisively. 2 different worlds, 2 different lives, connected by only a single trait. One man drove home, intrigued by an experiment. The other stood up from the dirty curb, ready to grind again, his path forward forged from nothing but sheer unbreakable will.